Hello and welcome back to Easy English with James. Today we're going to have a look at sentence stress. What is it? How does it work? And how can you use it to make your English pronunciation absolutely perfect? Okay, stick with me. Okay, the first thing to remember is that there are different types of stress in English. For example, word stress and sentence stress. They are different things. Today, we are looking at sentence stress. Okay, sentence stress is really important when you want to learn about the rhythm, that is the beat of English, and how to speak a little bit faster and understand when native speakers are speaking really fast to you. Word stress is a little bit different. Word stress is where we stress different parts of a word, okay? And there are some crazy little rules around that and a lot of exceptions, okay? For example, in the word today, you'll hear that stress on day, today, okay? In the word internet, you'll hear the stress in at the very beginning, internet, okay? For example, in the word climate, you'll hear at the beginning climate. Cli is stressed. That is word stress, where we stress a different part of a word. Okay, climate. Okay. Sentence stress, on the other hand, gives rhythm to English. What is rhythm? Rhythm is like music, okay? It's the reason that native speakers sometimes sound like da 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 da, okay? It's the music of English, so think of it like that. Sentence stress is so important when you want to understand why native speakers sometimes say groups of words really quickly and then emphasize other words and say them loudly and slowly. That's sentence stress, okay? And we're going to have a big look at that today until you understand it all. So, how can we understand sentence stress? Well, these two things are the most important. In English, we can divide words into content words or grammar words. Content words, they're the super important words. They're words like adjectives, nouns, and verbs, okay? We can't understand anybody or what anybody is saying if we don't have these words in a sentence. Grammar words, on the other hand, are the smaller, usually smaller, not so important words, okay? They're things like pronouns, filler words, okay? And prepositions. On, at, in, to, for, he, she, we. They're words that we don't actually need to understand a full sentence. For example, look at this sentence here. Sold house, moved Spain. You can probably understand the meaning of that sentence, but there are no grammar words in that sentence at all, okay? Only content words. Sold house, moved Spain. What do you think that this person is trying to say? You would be correct if you guessed that they were saying, I have sold my house and I have moved to Spain. Okay? But in English, we don't actually need all those little I have words, those grammar words. We don't need them to understand the meaning of the sentence. Okay? And that is where sentence stress comes in. Because these content words give English rhythm, okay? In between content words, sold, house, moved, Spain, there is the same amount of time, the same space between each word, okay? So listen again. Sold, house, moved, Spain. I've sold my house and moved to Spain. The actual content words there are evenly spaced. There's exactly the same amount of time between those words. Okay? It doesn't matter what grammar words are in between. Okay? Not important at all which grammar words are in between those content words. The timing is the same. The amount of time it takes to get from the first content word to the second content word is the same as the second to the third and the same as the third to the fourth. Okay? always the same. And that's what gives English this beat, this rhythm, this music, okay? There's a really simple way that I can show this to you with the numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? Now, if we read them, 1, 2, 3, 4, you'll probably be able to pick up a certain rhythm there. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's pretty much 1 second in between each word. 1, 2, 3, 4. But what if we add a grammar word? Let's try and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? What if we add 2 grammar words? 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Do you see how I made that faster? And even changed to una. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Why did I change that? It's because I have to get faster if I want to keep the time between 1 and 2 the same. So 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and a 2. And if we add another word, what if we add 3 grammar words in there? 1 and then a 2 and then a 3 and then a 4. 1 and then a 2 and then a 3 and then a 4. You see how fast I have to say and then a? Because I'm trying to keep the time the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, 1 and then a 2 and then a 3 and then a 4 are all actually the same. They're the same time. It takes the same time to read all them sentences. And the important thing for you to remember is that the reason for that is because the important part is the content words. And in this, it's simply 1, 2, 3, 4. Any grammar words in between just have to fill up that time in between 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, so what I want you to do now is to practice with me. We're going to start with no grammar words, okay? I will read it and then I'll give you some time to practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your turn. Okay, now try with and in there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, now try with and a, which remember we changed to una. Okay, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Okay, and finally we're going to try with all 3 and then a, which is and then a. 1 and then a 2 and then a 3 and then a 4. 1 and then a 2 and then a 3 and then a 4. Your turn. Okay, if you want to practice that more and more, just rewind and watch it again and again and again, okay? As long as you're understanding that the time for all of them sentences should be the same, you'll understand sentence stress in normal English. Now, obviously, like with everything in English grammar, because it's crazy, there are exceptions, okay? This is what we would call standard sentence stress. Ordinary, normal sentence stress. We stress the content words and we don't stress the grammar words. We just say them quickly in between the content words, okay? But there are exceptions, and now we're going to have a look at a few. Okay, I just want to stop and pause here for 1 second to remind you that if you enjoy this channel, if you are learning English well from these lessons, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos, and maybe even leave a comment so that I know you enjoyed the video. Okay, it helps this video get out to more and more people so that other people like you can also improve their English. Okay, so hit that like and subscribe and let's move on to the rest of the lesson. Okay, the first case of sentence stress is when we want to change the meaning of a sentence by emphasizing a word in that sentence. Emphasizing means sort of like making this word more important, okay? We want to make everybody really look at and focus on this word. And usually we do that because it changes the meaning of the sentence in some way, okay? So have a look at this sentence. He asked me to buy some red pens. He asked me to buy some red pens. You'll notice, if you're listening carefully, that the content words in there, asked, me, buy, red, pens, they're the content words we need. We can understand that sentence, asked me to buy red pens. And you can kind of understand somebody asked me to buy red pens. Okay? But we can change the meaning of this sentence a lot by emphasizing different words in the sentence through stress, by using stress. He asked me to buy red pens. We could start by emphasizing the very, very first word. He asked me to buy red pens. Not he asked me to buy red pens, but he, and we go up and we stress that word. He asked me to buy red pens. What that means is that probably, maybe, we are in a group of people and we're talking to someone and we want to show that not that person, not that person, not that person, but that person. We're pointing someone out in a group. We're saying, not him, he asked me to buy some red pens. Not her, he asked me to buy red pens. Okay? So we emphasize he. He asked me to buy red pens. We could do this the other way round with sentence stress. For example, he asked me to buy red pens. He asked me to buy red pens. He asked me to buy red pens. This means probably I am in a group. There are many people like me, and the other person, the person asking, he's looking at many people in the group. He didn't ask my friend. He didn't ask my other friend. He asked me. And it's very important that we want to emphasize and show that the person asking didn't ask anybody else, they asked me. So we emphasize, we stress me. He asked me to buy red pens, not you, okay? He asked me to do this, not you. We can stress me, okay? An easy way that I use when I'm teaching in classes is the use of your shoulders. If you want to remember where a word is stressed, you can often look at body language in English. You'll notice that when I said me, my shoulders went up. He asked me, okay? And you can use little body language tricks like that to help remember which words are in sentences, which words are stressed in sentences. He asked me to do this. He asked me to buy some red pens, okay? Another way we can stress this exact same sentence is with changing the color. Red. We could say, he asked me to buy some red pens. He asked me to buy some red pens. And you'll hear the stress on red. Red. We use this when we want to make absolutely sure that somebody is only buying red pens. Not blue, pink, purple, or black, but red. Maybe we already asked someone else and they got it wrong, and we're not very happy. We didn't want blue pens, we wanted red pens. So now we are asking again, and we're telling the student or telling the person, make sure you get red pens. Only red pens. So we don't need to say all of that, we just stress the word red. He asked me to buy red pens. He asked me to buy some red pens. We're stressing red, okay? Again, we can change the last word, pens. Maybe we asked someone to go buy pens for us and they came back with pencils. And we want to ask them again, not pencils. So we'll stress pens. We'll say, he asked me to buy some red pens. He asked me to buy some red pens. And if I say it like that, a very high or advanced level student might think, did you buy the wrong thing before? It sounds like you're saying maybe you bought the wrong thing, you bought pencils before, and now you said he asked me to buy some red pens, means that probably he was angry with you and you had to go again and get some red pens. That would be correct in this case, okay? And it's all down to the different parts of the sentence that we choose to stress, okay? In this case, we had 4 or 5 different ways to stress this sentence, okay? Another way that we can do some extra stress in sentences is when we are correcting someone in English. For example, if I said to you, 1 + 1 = 9, you probably wouldn't say 1 plus 1 equals 1. You would probably want to show a little more emotion. You want to correct me and show that I am wrong. 1 plus 1 does not equal 9. Okay, so you might stress your sentence like this. 1 plus 1 is not 9. 1 plus 1 is 2. And you'll stress 2 there because that 2 is correcting my wrong answer of 9. 1 plus 1 is not, stress on not, 9. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, and you stress 2 because it's correcting my bad answer, my wrong answer. So when you're correcting someone in English, you often stress the correct answer. Okay? Another example, if we go back to our teacher asking me to buy some red pens, if I go to the shop and I buy blue pens, that teacher might say to me, I asked for red pens, not blue pens. I asked for red pens, and red is stressed even more here because I bought the wrong ones. I bought blue pens. Okay, so he's correcting me. He's saying, I asked for red pens, not blue pens. Okay, this is another way when you're correcting someone, the answer you can stress. Okay, always try to stress that answer when you're correcting someone. The world is flat. The world is not flat. The world is round. Okay, and you're stressing round. Okay? Okay, now we're going to have a little test to see if you can guess which words in this sentence are grammar words and which words are content words. The first sentence is, I'm going to the shop to buy some bread. I'm going to the shop to buy some bread. I'm going to the shop to buy some bread. What are the grammar words in here? And what are the content words in here? I'm going to the shop to buy some bread. The content words in this sentence, of course, are going, shop, buy, and bread. You don't need anything else to understand that sentence. If you just see going, shop, buy, bread, you can understand that sentence, okay? The grammar words here are I'm, to the, to, some. I'm, to the, to, some. Okay? We don't need those words to fully understand the sentence. Let's try another sentence. I'm making tea for the party tomorrow. 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 What are the grammar words and what are the content words in this sentence? I'm making tea for the party tomorrow. Okay? Making, that's a verb, so that's definitely a content word. That's super important. Tea, that's a noun. That's important. Making tea. For, nah. The, definitely not. Party, that's important. That's a noun. Party and tomorrow. Tomorrow is a tricky one. Some might say that it is a content word. Some might say that it is a grammar word. It depends. Let's try again. I'm making tea for the party tomorrow. We don't need. Making tea, yes. For the, don't need. Party tomorrow, yes. So, in my opinion, here we would have making tea, party tomorrow. With them four words, we can understand that sentence. Making tea, party tomorrow. Making tea, party tomorrow. I'm making tea for the party tomorrow. Okay? I'm making tea for the party tomorrow. I'm making tea for the party tomorrow. So I'm and for the are the grammar words there. I'm and for the are the grammar words. Making tea, party tomorrow are the content words. Okay? Okay, one more sentence, and this time I want you to write your answers in the comments below. He slept on the floor because he was tired. He slept on the floor because he was tired. He slept on the floor because he was tired. He slept on the floor because he was tired. What are the content words and what are the grammar words in that sentence? Okay, write your answers in the comments and I will comment back and tell you if you got it right or wrong. Okay, Okay, for the final part of this video, I have some advice. If you want to practice English rhythm, that's the music of English, and if you want to train your ear, that is, make your ear better at hearing the music of English, the rhythm of English, there's a really good way to do it. You need to read or listen to poems and limericks. Limericks and poems, okay? Usually because poets, people who write poems, and people who make limericks, they design it to fit with the rhythm of English. For example, one of the most famous limerick writers was a man called Edward Lear. Edward Lear wrote lots of very famous limericks in English, okay? Listen to this one. There was an old man with a beard who said it is just as I feared. 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren have all built their nest in my beard. You can probably hear a little bit of musical sound to that, okay? Practicing these limericks will help you to feel, just like a native English speaker does, the rhythm of the English language. And the more you do it, the easier it gets, okay? So try again with me. There was an old man with a beard who said it is just as I feared. 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren have all built their nest in my beard. Okay, it's quite a famous limerick from Edward Lear, but what I want you to focus on is not the vocabulary, I want you to focus on the rhythm of that sentence. You'll notice, if you listen carefully, that the grammar words are very quick, and the content words are the words where, if you imagine like a heartbeat, you'll hear those content words pop up. Bub, 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 bub. Okay? There was an old man with a beard who said it is just as I feared. 2 owls and a hen, 4 larks and a wren have all built their nest in my beard. Okay? And you can hear the music there, okay? Right. Thank you very much for joining me today. We are going to have some more parts to this video because today we mostly talked about sentence stress, but I want to talk further about word stress, okay? Sentence stress is super important though, remember, for helping you to speak quickly, okay? Thank you very much. Remember, if you like this video, to hit that like and subscribe button. If you subscribe, you won't miss any of my future videos, okay? And you'll be able to hopefully improve your English as much as possible, okay? Thanks again, have a great day, and I'll see you again for another lesson. Bye-bye.